This is an island surrounded by water, big water, ocean water. Trust me, I'm like a smart person. I'm very consistent. I'm a very stable genius. I had the best words, tolerated. I know words. Mike Pounds. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation. But there's no better word than stupid. Anonymous, really anonymous. I'm very highly educated. One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water. I had the best words. God bless the United States.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
Where the water rushes out to sea because you could never handle it.
You idiot!
What's up, everybody? It's Thursday. Got a show for you today. A little bit of a show. We're going to cover some fun stuff. We're also going to cover, of course, the news of the train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, including Donald Trump's visit. Yeah. We have that. We have interesting reaction here from the folks over at Fox and Friends. You're gonna enjoy that. All right, we'll talk about that. We have, of course, Bernie Sanders going to a secret meeting with Joe Biden. Ooh, what's going on here? Controversy, or is it? We'll have some fun with that. We also are going to talk about Steve Bannon's bad week continues. More disastrous news for him, or is it? Interesting. Lots of controversy here, apparently. But first, we're going to start out with a literal witch hunt. Yes, witches. Okay, so now, before we get into the stories, please like and share the stream. We're just getting hammered by the algorithm, okay? So, look, Facebook's doing terrible, YouTube's doing terrible, so please like and share the stream. That's one of the most important things you can do is do engagement, and that's going to send it out, kick it out to the algorithm. So, yeah. All right. With that said, when do we get into some of the stories? We'll start out with some fun. All right. Charlie Kirk believes that a witch is going after Donald Trump.
Now we learn about her love of alchemy. No joke. She posts on her social media page about herbs, about casting a circle, demonic circles, how to cast spells. Not a joke. This is all on her social media page. She actually is a witch. She's into witchcraft. And as soon as I saw a video of her, I said, whoa, that is someone who thinks they're Hermione Granger, like totally. Like she is LARPing on live television, live action role playing, trying to be a serious person. She just can't pull it off.
So he is, of course, talking about Emily Kors. Now, she is the forewoman of the grand jury in Georgia. So recently, a report came out that they have recommended, the jury itself, multiple indictments of former President Donald Trump. I'll give you the details of that. But first, it's ironic, Charlie Kirk talking about how this person is LARPing live action role playing because, you know, his audience is like 75 and has no idea what they're talking about or what he's talking about. Oh yeah, she's out there LARPing as a serious person. You're the one who's LARPing as a serious person. You're not a serious. Charlie Kirk is not a serious person. No, Charlie Kirk is a dropout, and I'm not saying that automatically makes you stupid, but he is someone who dropped out to then get paid to put out garbage like this, to talk about witchcraft. So it is 2023, and you have right-wing pundits that are on literal witch hunts. And again, no offense to the Wiccans here, right? But you have to understand that Charlie Kirk is dumb. And I'm sure you probably already do. Really, really dumb. And that is not a result of any kind of hex. No, he's a literal moron. He thinks this person, Emily Kors, is going out there and trying to hex Donald Trump in order to get him indicted. And by the way, the whole purpose of this is, look, he's trying to basically get all of the findings by this jury in Georgia thrown out. That's what's going to have, or that's what he's going to hope. That's what he hopes is going to happen, I should say. Now, here's the thing: an investigation by Fannie Williams found no widespread fraud in the Georgia 2020 presidential election that could, result in overturning that election. Sorry, sad day for you, Charlie. Sad day for Trump. And yet, that's pretty relevant because Trump called Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger and said, "Find me votes. Just find me votes." What do you mean, find me votes? Either the votes are there or they're not. And in the case of Trump, they were not there. And Raffensperger told, I just need a few more votes than what I have. Now, Kors said that phone call between Trump and Raffensperger was the primary point of focus in the jury's deliberations, discussions about his election interference. The foreman said that they began deliberations with that infamous call, and the grand jury heard from dozens of witnesses over the course of more than 6 months. So now, she's been doing this media tour, right? And right-wingers have pounced on her, and then CNN started freaking out a little bit. But wait, she didn't break any of the rules and what you're supposed to do. So there's no reason to, I guess, throw this whole thing out and to replace her. But they want her. They want her replaced. They want her replaced. And so that's why they're going on this personal attack. Charlie Kirk weirdly going through her social media and being, I found it. I found the witchcraft. That's it. Witchcraft. And by the way, going back to the fact that Charlie Kirk is dumb, he thinks that he might have gotten, in the past, cursed by witches. Is that true? Well, okay, let's hear him tell a story.
Some people are emailing us, Charlie, don't make fun of witches. They have a lot of power. That's not true. They do not have a lot of power, but they do have some, if they're really into it, I do believe there's some very dark spiritual implications and dynamics here. And look, I've encountered witches before. When I was once speaking, this is not a joke, when I was once speaking at Legacy Church in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in the land of enchantment, which is, in my opinion, the most outwardly pagan state remaining in America. A lot of great Christians, but there's a lot of weird witchcraft that happens in New Mexico. And 3 witches came up and they started saying stuff at me. And maybe it was a coincidence, maybe it wasn't, but I got super sick right after that. Again, maybe it's just a coincidence, who knows? Maybe you think it's all a bunch of horse pucky and all that, but that was pretty chilling.
You see, I was cursed by 3 witches. And I got sick afterwards. So you don't know. You don't know. Maybe it had an effect. I think it actually did. So look, let me show you what Charlie Kirk looks like. What this hex may have actually done to Charlie. That's what he really looks like. No joke. Yeah, look at that. So what they have to do now is they have to Photoshop any pictures of Charlie Kirk with a normal face. You see, and of course video. They use like the AI, and they basically make his face full size. Witchcraft. It's real. It's real. Charlie Kirk, great example of it. You see. No, look again. The whole thing is, for one, ridiculous. No, I don't believe in witchcraft. Sorry. I don't think it's real, but hey, you do you, whatever. That's fine. But what is real is the right wing going after this young woman for going on TV and actually saying like, yeah, I'm the jury forewoman. And we think that Donald Trump should be indicted. The right wing does not like that. They're real mad about it. Also, by the way, afterwards, Charlie Kirk was noted saying,
I'm sick of all these witches and warlocks.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Okay. Let's move on. On Wednesday, former President Donald Trump visited the town of East Palestine, Ohio. And while he was there, first he had made a speech and then followed it up by going to the local McDonald's. Here's how that went.
What's your specialty today?
How are you today? Nice to meet you.
Hello, everybody. That's a nice, beautiful looking group of people. So I know this menu better than you do, okay? I probably know it better than anybody in here. We're going to take care of the fire department.
Okay.
We're going to take care of the police department. And what we do is all the people that are eating right
I'm
now.
the owner, Mr. President.
So
How are you?
I don't have to give him.
That's right.
That's a good one to own, right?
Yes, it is. One of the best.
So we're going to take care of your fire police. We'll take care of it. Plus the people that are in here, they're going to get a nice free meal, all right?
I probably know the menu better than anybody in here. You know what? It's probably not wrong about that. From one large person to another. That said, look, obviously, it's numerous stories about how Donald Trump loves McDonald's, and honestly, that's probably actually one of the more normal things about him. I don't have a problem with that. What if, though, he loves McDonald's so much because the name Donald is in there? Oh, see, there you go. Maybe that makes sense, which would be the most Donald Trump thing imaginable. I don't know. Now I'm not going to be able to get that out of my head. But, okay, look, fun aside. Let me just get this out of the gate. Photo op, theater. That's what this is. Oh, of course. But it's politically smart theater. Look, normally I rag on Trump for being the dumbest man imaginable, the dumbest man alive. But in this case, he knows politics and he knows optics. And look, it's this. The reason here is not to praise him for this. The reason that I'm pointing that out is the fact that Democrats, you're going to have to learn how to do politics. And I don't mean stuff like kneeling in kente cloth, okay? No, you have to go and talk to regular people, and you do have to respond, and you can't be like over rehearsed. One of the things that people like about Trump, other than the fact that he hates who they hate, right, is that he can seem approachable. You look at that clip and it seems approachable, entertaining. Unfortunately, the state of our politics means that stuff, unfortunately, sometimes matters to certain people more than policy positions do. And that, again, that is the unfortunate state of our political system. Now, look, going into Ohio saying, I care, I'm listening. I'm here for you. He's passing out water, Trump water. Is it big water? Ocean water? Is it the best water? I don't know. It could be.
Where the water rushes out to sea because you could never handle it.
Or it was probably just like tap water from Mar-a-Lago, but it doesn't matter. That said, going to East Palestine to visit people, that's politically savvy. I hate to say it. It's politically savvy. It makes sense. Now, again, it's not that he cares, but optics. And that's the point. Trump's good at playing the media and good at getting media attention. Everybody's talking about it, right? As a result, this embarrassed the Democrats, which was the point. And then, of course, afterwards, Pete Buttigieg shows up and everybody's mad at him. Oh, why weren't you here before? Well, it's because you showed up right after Donald Trump. And it's because you were embarrassed. And by the way, he responded to that by saying, well, let me get the quote here. Because, yeah. He said this. There's a lot of drama in the community, a lot of emotion, and as you noticed, a lot of politics. Oh, sorry, that was a reporter. Here's what Buttigieg said to the reporter. What I tried to do was balance two things, my desire to be involved and engaged and on the ground, which is how I'm generally wired to act, and my desire to follow the norm of transportation secretaries. Allowing NTSB to really lead the initial stages of public-facing work, I'll do some thinking about whether I got that balance right. But I think the most important thing is, first of all, making sure that the residents here have what they need. So, look, just show up. Nobody cares about the norm, okay? And by the way, if the norm is when there are so many train derailments, as we have seen, as Buttigieg has admitted, there are train derailments literally all the time. I don't know, maybe that's not good to have as a norm. Maybe you ought to do something to change that, by putting forward regulation that, by the way, Donald Trump's administration got rid of. They listened to the train lobbyists who wanted to save a few bucks and said, okay, we're going to get rid of that rule. And that's, by the way, it is what led to this happening in the first place. So, look, Trump shows up, hands out water, big water, says, I'm here for you. And the people, they're going to remember that. And regardless of the fact that, again, the Trump administration were the ones that deregulated the rail industry. It doesn't matter when the country has such a short memory. And by the way, let me add that before the right wing got involved, corporate media didn't really cover it all that much. The right wing then jumped on it. Progressives, we also focused on it. And I'm talking The Lever, which it does fantastic reporting. Young Turks, this show, Rational National, Humanist Report. All of us, we talked about this. And we pointed out the facts. We said, yes, it's the Trump administration that removed the ECS brake rules. And that's after the lobbyists poured millions of dollars into the Republican Party. But we also noted that transportation safety head Pete Buttigieg had been MIA for 10 days after this had happened, and had refused to reinstate the removed rule despite pressure from experts and rail unions when he was appointed to the office. And then, later on, when asked about it, finally comes out and says, I don't have the power to regulate. No, you do have the power to regulate. And of course, corporate media, covering for the Biden administration, didn't give as much attention to the story that it deserved. The right wing, of course, picked up on it. Trump shows up and embarrasses the Democrats. That's what happens. The political optics disaster, that's on the Democrats, whereas the actual disaster is squarely on the Trump administration. So now, again, Pete makes the trip too little too late. When it comes to the optics, they're going to look at Trump as a guy who showed up, and he showed up first. They're not going to know necessarily that, Trump and his administration and deregulation, and by the way, corruption, money in politics, is the reason this happened in the first place. So when I say Democrats are not good at politics, this is That's what I mean. And look, if you're making fun of, Trump going to McDonald's, that's fine, right? But also understand that him going to McDonald's and saying, I know this menu better than you do, that might actually make people like him more. Because it makes him seem relatable, even though he's not. So, look, the whole point that I'm trying to make, I know I'm talking to an audience of like progressives and liberals and a few haters, you guys, the thing that you have to understand about normies, the people who do not pay attention to politics as much as we do, who are not immersed in the politics like we are, they don't know the majority of things that Donald Trump has done. And depending on their media diet, they might know next to nothing at all. They might even think that, it's the Democrats. Must be their fault. They might have even heard that, correctly, by the way, that it was the Biden administration that had broken a planned strike by labor unions. The labor unions were warning the company saying, this is going to happen. We have lax safety standards here, and we do not have enough people to watch these trains. This particular train, 141 cars long, or I believe it's 144, sorry, with only 3 people, that's 2 crew members and 1 trainee to this train. And by the way, the industry, Norfolk Southern, the company itself, wanted to go down to 1 employee per train. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. The union was saying, we want to strike because there's not enough people here. We don't have any paid time off. So we don't have any sick leave or anything like that. And there's, and they're refusing to update and upgrade their Civil War era braking system. We got to do something about it. The Biden administration said, no, we're going to side with the corporation, the company here, and break your strike so you don't have the power to strike. And then we're just going to move on. And that's exactly what they did until this derailment happened. Talk about the Democrats being absolutely embarrassed, politically, optics-wise, by the Republicans, who, again, do not give a damn about the people in East Palestine, Ohio, and are the ones that actively deregulate. And so, look, this is a disaster in more ways than one. And it could have been avoided. The whole disaster could have been avoided. But also the PR disaster that follows. Republicans have said in the past that industries don't need regulation because they would morally do what's necessary to do the right thing. This proves BS on that theory. Yet corporations will never, ever regulate themselves. Never. They despise it. Biden dismissed, for a better word, the railroad union. He absolutely did. He absolutely did. And this is what happens. All right. Now, let's move on to Fox and Friends. The host over at Fox and Friends just called for more regulation.
I knew nothing about these derailment numbers. I'm stunned by it. That we have thousands of derailments all the time, and how costly it is, and how they're not kept up, and maybe the regulation needs to be there. I think there needs to be, there's a widespread sentiment to have a look at the whole rail industry, what the lobbyists are doing, and what the actual, I heard there were 3 people on that train of how many cars? 20 of which had chemicals in it?
Somebody at the front, somebody at the back, and
Does that
some
blow
other
you
people.
away? I mean, I know nothing about the business. I'm more than transparent about that. But I just think we got to look at this. And as Governor DeWine said, I had no idea this toxic chemicals were coming through these towns. At least we should be alerted to it. I think that's a reasonable request.
Well, and Pete Buttigieg even said we have thousands of these train derailments quite often, and that is alarming. This could happen to your town.
Yeah, listen, we mentioned when I was a reporter back in the day, I used to go to train derailments in Kansas all the time. They oftentimes just were carting wheat to market and not poisonous chemicals, but they can also update, the systems, how the trains stop, how the trains go. All that stuff could be updated.
Huh. Wow. Calling for regulation. Weird. It's almost like they just figured out that regulations are rules there to prevent bad things like this from happening. Weird. I know, shocker, right? But apparently nobody at Fox News seemed to have understood regulations before this train derailment. No, look, obviously these people are pretending to be surprised and going, oh, I got regulations. Gee, I guess we ought to regulate. Yes. In fact, maybe the Trump administration shouldn't have deregulated in the first place, and then we wouldn't have had this issue. These trains would have had ECS brakes. They would have not had their Civil War era technology still there and like minimal crews. But look, of course, Fox News is probably the worst people to actually be delivering the correct message. Yes, we do need more regulation. Pete Buttigieg is, he should be regulating the industry right now instead of not regulating. And in this case, there was also a new rule that they were crafting that actually would have deregulated the industry just a little bit further. Hopefully that has been put on hold. But look, these guys, these ghouls on Fox and Republicans in the administration, in the Trump administration, and in Congress, remember what they've been pushing all along, which is deregulation. When they say small government, that's what they mean. Small government for whom? For corporations and the rich. So you don't have to pay more in taxes. So they can actually make more profit even when their trains are derailing in your backyard. Look, corporations like Norfolk Southern, they're worth about $53 billion now. They're a $1 billion company. And what did they do? They bought back their own stocks. And then, of course, gave out massive bonuses to executives, dividends to their shareholders. And that's after, by the way, cutting their workforces to an absurd minimum. They used to have over 1 million workers. Now they have somewhere less than 200,000. Norfolk Southern also made $4.8 billion in operating profit in 2022. More Perfect Union had reported this, and they've been doing excellent reporting, excellent work on this, along with the lever. Now, they also, Norfolk Southern, had paid shareholders $4.7 billion in stock buybacks and dividends. You think that they would be able to invest in, more crew members. But they didn't. As Timothy Noah wrote in the New Republic, the 141 car train that crashed in East Palestine carried only 2 crew members and 1 trainee. Now, new report also come out that one of the reasons, and this is the NTSB report, the train had crashed as a result of, faulty equipment, of course, right? So let me find that real quick. So now what happened is that an overheated wheel bearing may have caused the derailment. So that, again, that's according to the NTSB report. So now the thing is, you should have crew members to be able to monitor this, right? Well, they only had 3 crew members. Now, one of the axles was reported to have been on fire just 20 miles of where the derailment had happened. Did these workers, did they know that this was on fire? I don't know. It is very possible. But it also, they could have known and could have been told, don't worry about it. Why do I say that? Well, it turns out Norfolk Southern allows a monitoring team to instruct crews, this is according to a ProPublica report, to ignore alerts from train track sensors designed to flag potential mechanical problems. You know, like the axle being on fire. Hey, it turns out deregulation, not a good idea. Allowing companies to come up with their own policies that allow you to ignore massive safety problems. Because, again, according to rules, you are supposed to take stop the train, take the car out when it starts to overheat. But they didn't, they weren't able to do that because they didn't have the ECS braking. So they couldn't slow down fast enough. Ironic choice of, ironic phrase there. And probably didn't notice or was told, don't worry about it. We got to keep our trains on time. Now, they do have sensors. And that's the most damning thing about this report, right? So now, according to the NTSB report, there are sensors there on the tracks. Norfolk Southern had added them to measure the temperatures of bearings that could determine whether overheating could pose a derailment risk. Now, Train 32N, which Norfolk Southern workers say they knew was unsafe, passed 3 hot bearing detector systems designed to detect overheating and provide audible real-time warnings to crews before it derailed, the NTSB report says. At milepost 79.9, the suspect bearing from car 23 was 38 degrees above ambient temperature. It's in Fahrenheit. At milepost 6901, it was 103. At milepost 49.81, it was 253. So they're supposed to stop and inspect this. They did not. NS crews are supposed to stop and inspect potential problems when alerts indicate that there's a difference between bearings at the same axle greater than or equal to 115 degrees Fahrenheit, or there is a bearing between 170 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Publication notes, if the recorded temperature is greater than 200, the instruction is to set out the rail car. In this case, the HVD system at milepost 49.81 transmitted a critical audible alarm message instructing the crew to slow down and stop the train to inspect a hot axle. The engineer increased the dynamic brake application to further slow and stop the train. During the deceleration, an automatic emergency brake application initiated and train 32N came to a stop. After the train stopped, they noticed the fire and smoke and notified the dispatcher of a possible derailment. With dispatcher authorization, the crew applied handbrakes to the 2 rail cars that had the train, uncoupled the head and locomotives, and moved the locomotives about a mile from the uncoupled rail cars. And then, of course, it moved on. So, yeah, that was a problem. And again, we're talking about a crew of 3 people that are having to deal with all that. Bit of an issue. So this is a problem with deregulation and self-regulation of corporations. And once again, something that Fox News, conservative media, the right wing, conservative politicians continue to push over and over again. They're like, oh, too much regulation, we're over-regulated. This doesn't look like over-regulation to me. It looks like under-regulation. Now, that said, getting back to Fox News, I actually didn't expect them to bring up the fact that the Trump administration had deregulated, and yet, well, here they are.
Speaking of the White House, apparently regulations regarding train safety were changed during the Trump administration. This particular railroad and others lobbied President Trump to dismantle an Obama-era rule that would have required railroads to update their braking systems. And apparently the Obama administration had pushed for it to govern transportation of hazardous materials after about 500,000 barrels of crude were dumped. But ultimately, the Trump administration undid that and said the costs exceeded the benefits.
Rare moment of clarity on Fox News. Actually admitting that, oh yeah, the Obama administration did the right thing, and then the Trump administration undid that. Now, I wish they would have gone into, and of course, I'm asking for too much because it's Fox News. Okay, you mentioned the lobbying. Who did the money go to? I mean, yeah, you said the Trump administration was lobbied. How much money? Did you mention the stock buybacks? No, he didn't. So that's the issue, right? Yes, they are correct, but like most corporate media, or I should say all corporate media, you really get into, you know, the real reasons here, the monies. The reason that they deregulate is so that they can make more money and so that they can do stock buybacks. They can reward shareholders with dividends, reward executives with executive bonuses, compensation. They don't mention any of that stuff because the real root here is greed. The real issue is companies putting their bottom line, their profits, over the lives of average people. Nonetheless, Fox News, interestingly, putting the blame where it is and actually calling for regulations. Let's hope that the administration, the Biden administration, actually follows through. Okay. It's a bizarre day. Okay. That's asking for too much. I'm an optimist. What can I say? With Republicans talking about cutting Social Security benefits, Senator Bernie Sanders is taking the opposite route and is trying to expand it. And he just went to the White House to pressure President Biden to do so. So now this is according to the Washington Post, Jeff Stein, who reported on Thursday that Sanders had a private meeting with President Biden. Ooh, interesting. Now, the report notes that Biden aides have recently discussed hiking payroll taxes on the wealthy in order to shore up Social Security. Sanders' proposal, and by the way, this sounds like Sanders' original proposal, which would raise the cap on how much income is subject to the payroll taxes that pay for Social Security. Currently, workers' first $160,200 in earnings are taxed, and the earnings beyond that are not taxed. So that's the issue. Under a proposal from Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, other Democrats, that cap would be eliminated, and income over $250,000 would be subject to payroll taxes. So, look, doing that, eliminating that cap, and then having wealthy people pay into it, that's literally the most simple and most effective fix for Social Security. You don't have to cut benefits. People earn those benefits. They're earned benefits, okay? That's what we call them, earned benefits. And you don't have to raise the retirement age, which again is a cut in Social Security. No, you could just lift the cap. Get rid of it. There's no reason that it should have been there in the first place. Shouldn't have existed. And if you do so, slam dunk. You know why? Because Social Security, Medicare, understand these programs, and Medicaid are extremely popular all across the aisle. Everyone across the political spectrum loves Social Security. And by the way, Medicare and all these things. And so the American people, they would be with you if you not only lift this cap, but also expand Social Security, which is another thing that Bernie Sanders had also said that he should, that Biden should do. In fact, part of Bernie's plan is also to add an additional $200 for each person on Social Security. Not bad. And, look, polling indicates that, of course, the American people are against raising the retirement age. Again, that's a cut. They want to expand Social Security benefits, and they want the rich to pay for it. That's it. You can look at every single poll. It's a slam dunk. That said, that doesn't mean the Biden administration is going to go in that direction. Why do I say that? Well, according to a White House official, the White House is not endorsing any specific plan or bill. The president says he welcomes proposals from all members of Congress on how to keep Social Security solvent and make the program even stronger. I get concerned about that. When they say, "Oh, we're gonna make it solvent and make it stronger," how are you gonna do that though? Look, Biden is promised on the campaign trail to raise payroll taxes on those earning $400,000 a year. Okay, lift the cap, do that, and yes, you can fund Social Security in perpetuity. That would actually raise about $740 billion over 10 years, according to the Tax Policy Center. Do that. Why are you now suddenly entertaining plans from everyone else? Oh, we just want to hear feedback from everyone else, and on what to do. You already had a plan, you campaigned on it. And now Bernie Sanders is telling you, hey, I got a plan too. Let's do this. Let's get this fixed. It's bizarre. I don't understand what they're doing in the White House. Now, that said, Robin Patterson, a White House spokesperson, told Business Insider, quote, "The biggest threats to Social Security and Medicare are House and Senate Republican efforts to get a program millions of Americans have been paying into since their first job as teenagers." I mean, yes, that's true. But at the same time, remember, Joe Biden had also put Social Security on the table during the Obama administration when they were negotiating with Mitch McConnell to make this the grand bargain, which again would cut Social Security in order to, I believe it was, raise the debt limit. And by the way, again, Republicans are also saying we might use the debt limit to try to force cuts in social programs. Now, this White House spokesperson also said the president promised to keep Medicare solvent and won't budge on paying out every penny in benefits. Okay, all right. And says, "We look forward to Republicans sharing their plan with the American people as well, since they have promised to pass a budget this year." I don't really care about the Republican plan. Honestly, they have no plan. Let's just say that. They have no plan. And by the way, they're not in charge. Yes, they have the House. Democrats have the Senate and the White House. Joe Biden's in charge. Maybe he should take the lead on this. Look, what Biden did at the State of the Union, calling out Republicans on wanting to cut Social Security, I thought that was fantastic. Yes, more of that. But now that you've done that and you've called Republicans out, you should put forward your plan. And then, actually fight for it. That's what I want to see. I think that's what the American people want to see. They want to see fighting for expanding Social Security against the Republican cuts. You've already laid out that, yes, it's Republicans that want to cut Social Security, Medicare. Great. Now come out and say, here's my plan to make sure that Social Security is solvent for the end of time. Do that, and the American people will be with you on this issue. So let's see some strength. Let's see some leadership. Okay. So let's move on. Whoa. Let's go to Steve Bannon. It's been a pretty bad week for MAGA grifter Steve Bannon. Following his lawyers suing him for non-payment of legal fees, Bannon also received some other bad news. ABC News is reporting that the FJB, or F Joe Biden crypto, hyped by Bannon, that is his cryptocurrency, back in 2021, has lost 95% of its value and has descended into chaos. Oops. Awesome. All right. So now, that said, is it bad for Bannon himself? Not necessarily. It's not like he paid himself in FJB coins. No, what it is that it's another con. It's just another scam. And so what could be bad for Bannon is people have, well, they've started to notice. They've caught on to the scam, if you will. Some investors in the cryptocurrency say that Bannon and his partner Boris Epshteyn have broken their promises to donate the money made from the coin to the Wounded Warriors Project and other nonprofit organizations. So now how they claimed it would work is that Bannon and Epstein would charge, Epstein, would charge an 8% transaction fee to buyers of the FJB coin. Now, let's see. Those fees were supposed to go to charitable organizations, but big shocker, they didn't. Oh, I know.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, God, who could have seen this one coming? Wow. They actually didn't give to the charities like they were supposed to. Are you saying that they lied? Are you saying they lied? Yes, I'm saying that they lied. Because they did. According to a spokesperson from the Wounded Warriors Project, as of January this year, no donations have been made to by the FJB to the organization since Bannon and Epstein took over in December of 2021. And of course, that is because he took all that money and stuffed it in his pocket. He is a con artist. MAGA guys, if you're hate watching, you're being robbed. I have no reason to care about your wallet. I have no reason to care about your finances. But I'm just letting you know that he's scamming you. If you bought FJB or you donated to the We Build the Wall, he took your money and stuffed it in his pocket. Now, maybe you're okay with that. Then wouldn't it have been easier just to be like, hey, let me give you a donation? I mean, it's not like there aren't avenues that you can do that. Of course you can. But why go this roundabout way to give him your money? Unless you believed him. And that's the problem. You are believing in people who are scamming you for money. How does that feel? Are you tired of being scammed? Are you not? I mean, seriously. How many more grifts and scams till you catch on? And be like, maybe these people don't have my best interests at heart. Huh? Maybe they're just trying to get rich. Huh? Weird. But of course, look, if you're still watching his show, if you're still supporting him, and stuff like that, then maybe you like being a sucker. All right. Well, if you like being a sucker, then just at least admit it. That's all I'm asking. Crypto crashed? No way. Yeah, I know. All right. Let's move on. Going from one grifter to the next. now Rittenhouse is back, and yes, he is begging for money once again. Apparently, Rittenhouse has launched a new fundraiser on the Give, Send, Go platform, asking for his followers to chip in some money, saying that his legal bills are piling up from the recent wrongful death lawsuit filed against him over the killing of Anthony Huber. Now, that is a person that Rittenhouse had shot during a night in Kenosha back in 2020. 2 other people were also shot that night, one of whom survived. In a post on Twitter this Tuesday, Rittenhouse shared a link to the fundraiser, which had raised, astonishingly, at that time, $122,000. So already, he's gotten money from the right wing. Now, the reason he gets money is because he is a bit of a pseudo-celebrity, right? But the only thing, of course, he's famous for is shooting people, which apparently some people love. Now, he tweeted, "I'm being sued again by Gage, as well as the Huber family. Now, the legal bills are piling up, and I need your help. You can donate by going to whatever, Give, Send, Go." Look, why are people giving him money? That's my big question is, why are you still continuing to give this guy money? This kid? Why is he even important? Why is he even relevant? Why is he a celebrity on the right wing? He's literally done nothing but shoot people. Is that what makes you a celebrity? Is that what makes you important now? It's incredibly bizarre that there is a certain section of society that looks to this guy as if he is some sort of not just hero, but like a role model. I don't get it. Maybe, I don't know. To me, any role models that I would have might actually do something positive for society. Save people's lives. Do something important, you know? But no, this guy, nothing but, again, killing 2 people. That's what he's famous for. Okay? Killing someone. And so, again, I don't understand him. I don't understand the fixation with him. Look, I hope this wrongful death suit goes to court and he ends up losing. That's really all I have to say on that. Okay. I say let him be an adult and figure out how to pay for these things like the rest of us. Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as the right, coddles him with donations and things, he's never going to take responsibility. Just like he didn't take responsibility for shooting somebody. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got today. Sorry I didn't have all of it. Anything else to go through, but, let me go to Gabby Mathis here on YouTube, gifting 1 membership. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let's go to here to Twitch. I'm speed running the show. Yeah, I have been lately, yes. I don't know. I hope y'all like it. We're trying to get more stuff done. More content out. Let's see. Ended the show with a funny story. Yeah. All right. So, how am I doing? I'm just doing. Loving the shows. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. Like I said, I'm just trying to adapt to a little bit of a tighter schedule, more content, etc. All right. I wouldn't go that far, calling me a legend or anything like that. But I appreciate the kind words. I really do. So thank you. You're too nice. Please like and share the stream again if you haven't already. So, all right, everybody. We're gonna end it. Thank you all. Love you, and change begins with you. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
I will eat your ass.
Sexual anarchy.
Resurrection is about to begin.
Peachtree dish.
You're kicking me out the door. You're kicking me out the door.